I am genuinely in shock right now with just how bad that was. You know, when I think about E3, typically what comes to mind is giant AAA releases. The games that I'm going to be playing for possibly hundreds of hours. The games that are supposed to get me hyped. The projects that are supposed to be truly special. You know what I don't think about? Cell phone games. And yet, during this press conference, they had 4 separate cell phone games that they went into in detail. What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I just got finished watching the Bethesda press conference of E3 2019, and it was appalling. Now, it wasn't all bad. There were a couple of games that I think were really, really good, but I'm going to talk about those at the end because everything else in this was a complete dumpster fire. Let's start off by talking about those super epic cool Bethesda cell phone games. First and foremost, Commander Keen is back. You know, the super OG original platformer by id? Well, it turns out now it's going to be a cheesy little clicker. You're going to play a really crappy cell phone game and huzzah. But wait, say you want something that's a little bit more of an in-depth experience. Well, they just dedicated a ton of stage time to Elder Scrolls Blades. Yeah, it's still going to be pay to win, but soon it's going to be pay to win with dragons. Isn't that just the best news you ever heard? Maybe I can even buy a dragon. But wait, they went one step further. If you really love Elder Scrolls Legends is still around, the card game, and now it's on cell phones, and they decided to do a giant cool commercial about how you can go on epic adventures with your deck of cards. And of course, they also had to take time out of their day to basically celebrate the overwhelming success of Fallout Shelter. All of this is such a bad use of stage time. Everybody that was watching the streams were so incredibly bored, while the people in the audience seem like they may have been paid actors. I don't mean to say conspiracy theory, but these people would scream at anything. I mean, that guy could trip, walk into the stage, and they'd be like, "What a great trip!" It was bizarro world. I have no idea what made these people so freaking excited because all the rest of the news beyond just the cell phones was not at all worth cheering about. Let's talk about Fallout 76 because surprisingly, they decided to bring it up and basically do, of course, a nice apology saying it had a rocky launch and promising that there will be many more updates in the future, all of which, of course, are completely free. Now, it turns out that the first thing they're going to be trying to really work on is over the coming months, they're finally going to be introducing NPCs back into the game. You know, because Fallout is supposed to have them, and Fallout 76 from the start didn't. They've said specifically that these NPCs will be people you interact with, there will be moral choices, and they will actually have dialogue trees. These won't just be people who are standing there like vendors. This to me is good news because at least it means that they're listening to feedback. They're trying their best to improve the experience, but simultaneously I don't have a lot of hope. I'm glad they're trying this, but it just seems like Fallout 76 is a very small and very poorly thought out side project that now they're just dumping millions and millions of dollars into, hoping they make it back. But wait, that's not all. There's actually something that they're going to be releasing this week, which is Fallout 76 Battle Royale. This is not a joke. This is going to be Fortnite 76. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while and you've been subscribed, well, first and foremost, thank you. But additionally, you'll remember that I did my review of Fallout 76 on the Xbox One, and accidentally, I ordered a copy on PlayStation 4. I actually pre-ordered this on Amazon and I've never opened it. So Bethesda, I'm making you a promise. I'm actually going to finally open this copy and I'm going to try your game again with an open mind. As they update the game, I myself will try it because if they manage to fix this, well, I'll be the first to say, way to go. But right now, I don't really trust them. Now, the other stuff they talked about was a lot of DLC. Stuff like, hey, there's a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, which, congratulations congratulations to them, but it was just a giant CG cutscene, so it's not like I got really any idea of how that game plays. I know it's an MMO, but without seeing gameplay, how am I supposed to become invested in it? Slaying dragons is neat, and cat people are interesting, but where is the pull that's supposed to make this feel like something that I should jump into, despite the fact that it's been out for years? The other DLC they've talked about is Rage 2. Now, I liked Rage 2. When I reviewed it, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'll probably play the DLC, but I'm not super, blown away by it. I mean, it's just DLC for a game that's already super goofy, and some of it is the cheat code style of DLC where it sounds like we may be paying for things like low gravity. Paying for more silliness in an already silly game, to me, is definitely not something that I think the people in the audience should have been cheering their brains out for. They also talked about innovative technology. It was some sort of thing called Orion, and it seems like it's some sort of new streaming interface or something, but I mean, why are you talking about Orion and streaming tech while you're on the stage when you could be bragging about your games? Where are the games? Now, let me talk about the thing that definitely got me by far the most excited, which was Tango Works' new project. Now, Tango Works is the people who, of course, made Evil Within and Evil Within 2, two games that I think are huge leaps above a lot of other modern survival horror. And their new game is called Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, they've said very clearly and very succinctly that this will not be much like their other projects. This is very much not going to be survival horror in its normal genre. But even still, I'm excited for it simply because it seems like something that's going to be trying to be very, very supernatural and perhaps have a very thriller vibe to it. It looks like almost everybody within Japan has suddenly vanished, and the only people that are left are now being hunted down by some sort of giant mysterious creatures that seem like gods or spirits or something, and I dig that. I'm hoping that this game has a decent amount of action. Since they said that it's not survival horror, I imagine this isn't going to be the type of game where you're trying to preserve your bullets and save up health items. I think it's going to be either a straight up action game or maybe more like a very cinematographic. It's going to be like a visual storytelling style device where they tell you a good plot in a very succinct fashion. Now, I'm totally cool with that because I really do trust Tango Works to a great degree. After this, they decided to tease a new project that is just being called Deathloop. Now, they just showed a little cutscene for it, but it seems like the idea is that there is some sort of island that has a piece of technology on it, and essentially, there are these two ultra-deadly assassins who keep trying to kill each other over and over again, because whenever one dies, the entire day resets, and so they keep getting even more practiced and even better at killing all the other people on the island, but perhaps they think that the path to freedom is being able to kill their opponent in just the perfect way to finally break the death loop. Now, I think that that's very interesting, but I need to see more of it. It is being done by Arcane, which are the people who make Dishonored, so hopefully it has some creative gameplay and it's not just a first-person shooter with rewind time mechanics, but I am a little bit nervous about it just because I wish that they'd showed us more. For a project that's supposed to be so new and so different and being shown at E3, I wanted a little bit more than just 120 seconds of pre-rendered video. Now, the next thing they talked about is Wolfenstein Youngblood. Now this, I'm totally sold on. I mean, it's Wolfenstein. I love murdering Nazis. I think that they're scum and they need to be shredded with axes, and it's going to be that. Now, to go along with this, though, of course, the thing that gets me extra hyped is that this time it's going to be Wolfenstein fully co-op. We're playing as BJ Blazkowicz's daughters, who I think are twins, and essentially BJ's gone missing, and we're trying to track him down in Paris in the 1980s. I mean, let's face it, it's just another freaking awesome shooter, but this time with co-op, so I'm going to be playing it purely for the multiplayer aspect of it. It's also coming to Switch, but I think that for this one, I'm probably going to buy it on either the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, simply because I noticed that some split-screen games do have trouble trying to be super high resolution. So since I'm going to be playing it fully split-screen, I want to try and get it on the most powerful console I can track it down for. Now, the last thing that they dedicated a lot of time to was, of course, Doom Eternal. This is their main project for this year. It's coming out this year, November 22nd, and they essentially showed us a bunch of the game gameplay changes. In general, to me, it seems like everything has been sped up by maybe 50%. Kills are faster, running is faster, you have some sort of double jump and air dashes now, so in a lot of different things, you're now going to have extra options for traversing and killing all these crazy demons in the goriest way possible. That alone is of course very appealing, but the additional twist to it that I think is gonna maybe get a lot of people excited if they try it is that they're really leaning a little bit more heavily into the multiplayer this time with a special thing called battle mode, where basically two people are going to be playing as demons and one person as the Doomslayer, and you have to try and defeat them or they defeat you. It seems like an interesting little thing, but I want to see more of it. I'm hoping that what they do is give us more gameplay of it, or more preferably, I'd like if they did some sort of beta relatively soon to actually let us try this mode out. I mean, the main story is of course going to be great. It's going to be the ultimate action shooter of the year, but the multiplayer is where I have my concerns. In general, this press conference was very slow, it was very boring, it was very, very hard to watch, and now that it's over, I'm glad. I think that the games they managed to focus on, some of them are fantastic, but in general, I do not think that that was a good showcase. Hopefully something good happens with Fallout 76, but I don't know. Bringing that out on E3 did not seem like the most entertaining of choices. But what did you think? Did you get a chance to watch E3 2019 and Bethesda what they were trying to do, or did you decide to skip it, which was probably a good choice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I'm actually filming this video in the middle of the night, and this is the first time I've actually managed to set up all my lights again, so I'm very happy. Thank you all for watching the show and supporting it. I know I had to randomly move recently, but you know, y'all's love and support, it makes the stressful times a heck of a lot easier. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.